Just a minute, guys. Welcome, welcome. Just 1 second. Welcome, fam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have everyone here. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys coming on the live. Just gonna wait a little longer. Get a couple more people in the live. So get up and popping. Welcome to the live. Thank you. Welcome. I got one viewer so far. We just started the live. How's your evening going? Just waiting for a couple more people to jump in on the live. Welcome, 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 welcome to the live. Welcome, fam. How's everyone doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. How's everyone doing? Welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for joining the live today. A good little topic today. How's everybody evening going? Happy Monday evening. I know you guys first day back to work, first day back to school, and I know you guys must be hating it. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. I have a nice little setup here, Got quite a few of them. I have some you don't see, some in safe, some on the wall, some everywhere. If you lock me in the bathroom, you know how that is. Can't lock me nowhere in my house without feeling it. It's everywhere. You don't even know where it's coming from. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you, Paul. It's a pretty decent arsenal. Those are some of my favorites. All right, so you guys know that this is a new series I started, Two-Way Gun Talk, and we're up to, as you guys can see, episode 9. Episode 9. It's been doing pretty well so far. I like the feedback. I like the fact that I can come on here and talk and be comfortable and talk about firearms and teach some people some things they might have already known. Kind of reinforce it, or for the people who don't really know, just give them some new points. So I'm happy I can do that. The turnout is good. People have been contributing to the channel. People have donated to the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. And guys, your donation doesn't go in my pocket. Your donation goes back to the channel. I'm trying to build up back to get enough ammo where I can actually go out and do some reviews on some of these guns. But that takes time, that takes money. So, trying to make more videos and hopefully, depend on some of you guys help out with the channel. If you guys want to donate, you guys can hit the support Black Mamba with a donation right there. Super easy. Just click on that, give some donation to the channel. Greatly appreciated. You know what I mean? If you get anything out of the channel, the best donation you can do is subscribe to the channel. Like the video, share it, but welcome. So how's everybody doing today? As you guys know, when I do these, God bless Charlie Kirk rundown, for real. I watched I posted, I went live yesterday at the ceremony. I wasn't at the ceremony, but I watched the ceremony with my subscribers yesterday. So most definitely, God bless Charlie Kirk, man. Gone too soon. Young man cut down in his prime just for speaking his mind. That's terrible. That shouldn't happen to anybody, whether you're Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, it doesn't matter. Should be able to have free speech and not be killed for it. This is the time. This is the time that we live in now, where it's somewhat becoming normalized now. You know, they attempted assassination on President Trump not once but twice. You know what I mean? And then you have this young man, assassinated for no reason. And then, I mean, I think in Colorado or one of those places, they went to those official homes, and that ex cop or something like that went and killed those officials. Man, it's just terrible. On this channel, we don't promote any kind of violence whatsoever. That's not what we do over here. That's why I started this series called 2A Gun Talk. The 2A movement is obviously promoting the promotion of firearms, and that it's not like an evil thing. It's not an evil weapon. It's just placed in the hands of evil people. And I know it's mad cliche. People talk about it all the time. JAAT, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to the channel, man. Thank you. I know it's mad cliche to hear people talk about. I'm doing good, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm doing very well, thank you, man. Appreciate you. I'm just a little riled up. I just went outside, took my dog outside, so he was dragging me all over the place. I have a Belgian Malinois. Yeah, but you definitely this channel definitely does not promote any kind of violence whatsoever. And to see what happened to Charlie Kirk is extremely devastating. Just to see that happen here in the United States. And we definitely should do our part to kind of like, and I'm happy with how the right and conservatives are handling it. I saw a post. I was scrolling to my Facebook feed, and I saw a post where somebody posted something, and they said, you have what's the gentleman, the black guy that during COVID that he passed away, that I guess the two police officer killed. I can't even remember his name. And they were saying during his protests, they were burning, they were looting, people died, police officers lost their lives. There was so much destruction. It cost the city hundreds of millions of dollars. And then during the Charlie Kirk assassination, there was no lost lives. I mean, besides Mr. Kirk, there was no looting and scandals and craziness, and it was just people coming together in peace to protest, and they did it in a very good way. So I'm Jamaican, but I'm still a part of the African American diaspora, and I don't really like to see how sometimes some black folks turn a lot of issues into this racial thing. And I was so disgusted when I saw a lot of people saying, oh, it's a white on white crime, and I was just like, bro, it's a crime, period. It doesn't matter. When someone dies, they die. It don't matter if they're black or white. You know what I mean? And I didn't really like that at all. They were saying, "Oh, let them handle their own," or "They're killing their own," and I was just like, "Yo, this is nasty to say." You know what I mean? What that gentleman did to Charlie Kirk, it affects us all because it can happen to any one of us. The man expressed his point, and he did it in open dialogue. He wasn't sitting behind a screen just talking smack to anybody. He said it out in the open. He gave people the opportunity to counteract his point, and then he had his rebuttal, and so did they. So I just don't understand why people are like, okay, he deserved that, or that's what he preached. And then where I take offense to it is that people were saying that, okay, he promoted firearms, but then he died by a firearm, and that's what he preached, and that's what he died from. That makes no sense, man. That made absolutely no sense. Just because the man promotes the people's right to own firearms, it's because of firearms why us as United States citizens have the right we do. We have the right to go out and protest and throw bottle bombs on police officers' cars. We have the right to go in public and say whatever we want. We have the right to, have the freedom to do, no, cuss at a government official, try to assassinate government officials. We have the right to cheat the American people of their taxpayer dollars and send it abroad, or steal it through Social Security, or whatever the case might be. It's because of firearms. I know people might not like firearms, but trust me, if we didn't have firearms, we'll be invaded by every other country and then subjugated by them. So whether you like it or not, firearms are a necessity, and it's the reason why you sleep safe in your bed. Trust me, the bad guys, if they wanted to, they'd be all up in your ish. You know what I mean? But because the fact that they know that they don't know what's beyond that door, they don't know if there's a shotgun, an AR-15, a 22, or whatever that keeps them outside. But if they knew that you didn't have anything to defend yourself, trust me, they'll be kicking down your door. So I just don't understand how people are just like, oh, it's because of guns. The same guns that you talk about. When someone kicks in your door, what do you think the police officer coming to your house, to your rescue, what do you think he's coming with? Huh? What do you think he's coming with? He's coming with a gun, that same gun that's used to defend your life. So, and that's why I kind of want to, do this series, where I try to educate people about firearms. And, if you haven't seen my first 8 episodes, guys, go and check those out. There's some really good material in there that, a lot of people, if you're not used to firearms, then you can most definitely learn some things. I sat down and I thought about those points, and I really researched and put them in a nice little thingy. But before that, I like to always come here, rant on a little bit, talk to the YouTube subscribers, and then get to the point. So I will get to the points today. All right. So the main point we're talking about today is the fact that the firearm that you have is good enough. Okay, it is absolutely good enough. And that's what we're going to talk about, and I'll explain that a little later. We're going to go to a commercial in a little bit, and then after that, while I'm here, guys, P said, don't shoot yourself. Definitely. DJ Elmon says, America, F yeah. JAT said he loves the guns behind me. Appreciate you, Papa. You know what I mean? Gior Desani said, I'm sorry, but to be honest, I haven't heard a single person actually say he deserves it. I'm starting to think that it's an extremely low amount of people actually saying it. And that is, you might not have heard, Jimmy, but people said it. And they're getting fired for it because, once you say something on the internet, it doesn't go away. Somebody screenshot, it's in the algorithm, it's there, someone said it. And it doesn't matter if a lot of people said it or one person said it. If one person said it, then it's still not a good thing. You know what I mean? And a lot of persons, even if they don't say it, a lot of them think it because we know how the left is. Everything that goes wrong, they'll glorify it and magnify it and say, oh, you see, that's why, they shouldn't have guns. Look at this massacre. And they don't ever say, listen, look at the idiot that pulled those triggers. You know what I mean? They don't blame the person that pulled the trigger, but they blame the weapon. You know what I mean? You can use a car and kill people. Again, it sounds cliche and everybody's saying it, but if I really wanted to kill a bunch of people, I can get in my car and just go mow down people on the street. And I can do that for hours until they catch up to me. You know what I mean? So it's not the firearm or the car or the knife. It is the person behind it. Common sense, But it's a way of scapegoating. Instead of attacking the real issues, let's attack something else and avoid the issue. And just sound like idiots all the time. And that's how it is for me. So that's why I advocate for 2A. I'm advocating for the gun. It's politicians and everybody else and doctors who supposed to advocate for the people who handle the guns. That's not my realm. Now, as a gun owner, I'd really want to know that there's the proper vetting. You know what I mean? That not everybody can have a gun. But listen, you can vet and vet and vet, and someone can buy a gun, and people can break into that house and steal that gun. People are gonna, even if they don't break into a house and steal it, listen, they're gonna end up getting it one way or another. It's on the streets. It's on the black market. You know what I mean? They can get, there's guns everywhere. It's not gonna stop the bad guys from getting it. You know what I mean? What I wish is they could educate more people, on proper gun handling so they can defend themselves when in the process of them becoming a victim. So that's kind of what I'm talking. 44 Carbine says, love the wallpaper. It's pretty wallpaper, man. It's so pretty, it's real. You know what I mean? So yes. Leha Montana said, do you own a Glock 17? No, I don't. I'd love to own one, a long slide. If I do get a Glock 17, I'd probably do something John Wick type style, something like that with it. but I don't necessarily want a Glock 17. I'm not really a Glock fanboy. I have a Glock 19, and that's the only Glock I own. I'm more of a Beretta CZ type of guy, so when I do purchase firearms, I tend to go that route: Beretta, CZ, Smith& and Wesson. I feel like they make comparable firearms with while giving you more. Not necessarily more mags, but they give you more ergonomics. I think they give you better grips. I think they give you better slide serrations. Glock needs to stop with that, four cut in the back slide serration, man, and give some fishtail hook like Smith& Wesson, some proper grip like CZ, some nice ergonomics, like Canic. Like, come on, man. Glock needs to step up their game, man. I mean, I carry a Glock 19 Gen 5 every now and then, but at the same time, I still carry my Beretta APX Centurion. And I love it. The ergonomics, it still carry the same amount of rounds, a little bit more compact, just as accurate, even more accurate, and it does the job just as well. Glock needs to stop living on their name and give the people more, and stop just changing up the name and giving it 15,000 name and then not giving and charging people more and just giving them the same old product. Beyond the exterior, it's the same old gun. Nothing's changed. Glock 16, 17, 14, 15, 12, 1, 5, 6, same Glock. The same one as Gen 1. Same thing. Same thing. Take up a Gen 1 Glock and a Gen 5 and you look at them, they're pretty much similar. That's kind of like, the thing that they do with iPhones. Oh, iPhone 15, iPhone 16. They move the camera here, they move the camera there. Same quality, same old bullshit. Can't update it after about a year. I'm okay. And that comes close to the point I'm going to make today in the topic, that what you have is good enough. You know what I mean? For real, appreciate it. Focus 904. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, brother. Pity the fool trying to get into that crib. That's a fact. And you guys haven't seen the Belgian yet. He's outside eating. I don't let him in here because he won't let me, record. He'll be all over the place. But he's a little menace, man. But it's John Wick up in here. You know what I mean? Except this is not a pit bull. I got the Belgian. That's the two dogs Halle Berry had. This one, he's getting some training. He's pretty young. He's like going on 6 months now. He's still learning. He's learning his sit and stay command. I do want to give him some more aggressive training, like attack, you know what I mean, and shred. Those are the two that I want to give him. I don't really want him to learn anything super aggressive because I don't want him to be attacking everybody, but I want him to have it in him when I say, hey, attack, I want him to go, and I want him to go and lock on and stay there. You know what I mean? And so I've been talking to a dog trainer who says, we can give him some behavioral training in terms of sit, stay, stuff like that, follow close, stuff like that. And then once you get those in, then we can go to some attack training. And I'm not doing it because I want to be crazy. I'm doing it because of my protection, the protection of my family and my house. And that's pretty much it. He's my second alarm system. He's actually better than the first alarm system because he hears people coming way before the camera even catches them. You know what I mean? Sometimes I see him pop up, and then 5 minutes later the doorbell rings. Because they can sense it. You've ever walked past a yard before, and before you even get to the yard, them dogs are barking. They heard you coming. So they have a better sense of smell, better sense of hearing, so they can hear the footsteps before the cameras can pick it up. So most definitely. Angus Samawaya, maybe I mispronounced that. What's up? How you doing? Focus 904 said that's why I only have one Glock. And I can see why some people only have one. But to be honest with you, man, no matter how much guns I have up here, I only have two hands. You know what I mean? And if shit hit the fan and I don't have a big crew with me, I can only pick up one or two of these. And then if I gotta go, I gotta go. It's me, my family, what they can carry, and my homies, what they can carry. And we move in a group, well harm and push it. But technically, you only have one hand, man. You know what I mean? Yes, Just a Gamer fan says, nice guns. Thank you very much. Abdul Dor, I cannot read that, whatever that writing is. If you can translate to English, that'd be great. Sheik M, I think you never had a problem with wind ruining your. I don't know what that means, but yeah, guys. All right, so I'm gonna get busy and get to the today's points, guys. But before I get started, man, like I said, guys, thank you guys for spending this time with me. I really appreciate you guys for coming through. The yellow one is a gold-plated one, and this is called a Polish Tanto. They don't really import this. They used to be imported by Century Arms. It's an AK-74. They don't bring them in anymore. And if you want to get one of those, you're gonna have to pay premium price for it. This might devalue a little bit because I spray painted it in the gold, but that can easily come off. But they should go for a pretty penny. They probably start out maybe 800-900 bucks, just to start, and then that price could go way up on Gunbroker. Yeah. So before I start today, guys, can I have a closer look, please? To be honest with you, I can't necessarily touch this, and sometimes I touch this thing and then I mess up the camera. But let me pan over there. So as you guys can see, it's an AK-74. It's come with a sporter wire stock, and I have I bought some mags way back in the days, but I think it came with a Bakelite, because it comes with a Bakelite furniture, which is that brown furniture. I took that off and then I just put on some aftermarket stuff on it, and and then I spray painted it. Nothing crazy. Ray said, "Is that a Vepr?" You are correct, my man. That is the Vepr in 54R. So just in case anybody doesn't know, this is the Vepr in 54R. That's the same round that they use in the Mosin Nagant. This one up here is a Mosin Nagant M9 M44, and then I also have the long barrel, the 90 M9130. So I have both. So yes, that is a Vepr, and in Russian that is called Wild Boar. And I think this is making the Ishmash factory. Now this gun right here, guys, is a beast. I mean, I can wheel this thing like it's an AR-15. On the end right here, you guys can't see it, but there's a custom muzzle brake on it that when I shoot that round, it literally stays flat like it. Boom, 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 boom. It stays flat like it's like shooting a 308 like an AR-15. You know what I mean? I literally can shoot that gun like it's an AR-15. And it's like you're getting hit with 308 power, but it's handling like a 5.56. That's how bad that thing is. It comes with 20 round mag. There's opportunity to buy even longer mags, but yeah, that one comes with a 20 round mag. It comes with a wooden stock. I took off the wooden stock and put like a SOP Mod B5 here, and then I put a US Palm AK grip on it. And then I compensated here with a super nice comp that you can actually tune. They come with little set screws in it. You can take them down, and if it goes up too much, you can change the set screws around it to have it lower. And sometimes I lower the recoil so much it starts shooting way down, so you can even it out. The muzzle brake is just retarded. You guys can't see it from there, but it is pretty retarded. Robert Reyes says, you prefer bolt guns with thumb grooves, pistol grips, or no grip. Honestly, I like them all, man. I technically don't have any preference. I love everything. That's why I collect. You know what I mean? I love it all, man. To be like, guns are just beautiful things to me. Just like how women love shoes, I love guns, man. I see a gun, I just love the contours, the lines, and I love motorcycles. I have two motorcycles. I have a Kawasaki Vulcan 2053, which is 2,500 cc's, and that thing is a beautiful shape, man. If you guys ever look it up, it's called a Kawasaki Vulcan 2000. It's 2,053 cc's, and it is such a sexy, beautiful bike, man. The curves on it is so nice. I just love how things are formed and molded. Like, I can't get enough, man. My dream bike is called the Triumph Rocket GT. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's a super nice, I think 2,500 cc's, and it's like a beast, man. The rear tires are like this big, like a car tire, and the bike is just the shape of it, the lines, everything. I'm telling you, man, I love a nice shapely thing. You know what I mean? Let me stop there, fam. Let me not go there. All right. So, but definitely, man, I just like the form factor with firearms. If you guys can see, look at every gun up here. They just different in their own way. How can you not love it, man? How can you not love it, fam? How can you not love how everything is different in its own way, but it's the same? It's different, but the same. You know what I mean? But they have their own role they can play. I can take every gun here and put it in a different role. You know what I mean? I really can. Because I've been around them. Just Gamer, I cannot take down the gun during a live. You can't handle any firearms. I did that before in episode 4, and I took it down. I got a strike on the channel, so that's not gonna happen. Maybe one day I'll do a little short video and subscribe to the channel. And you know what? I'll make a short for it tomorrow. I don't know what happened recently, but I used to put out shorts and I used to get 15, 16,000 views on a short. Like by the time the next day I get 15,000 views, it's like now I put out a short on a firearm, I barely get 500, I barely get 100 likes. I really don't know what's going on. I think sometime in the algorithm it gets messes up. So I don't know, but I'll do a short on that firearm tomorrow so you can see it, the Polish Tanto. I'll find a way to do a short for you tomorrow, okay? I got you. So you can see it because you've been asking about it, but I'm gonna do a short on it for you. I promise I will. Yeah, just subscribe. Tomorrow's short is gonna be on the Polish. I'm gonna do a short on the Polish Tanto. I kind of laid off of making shorts on the firearms because they're just not pulling in the kind of views that they used to. Like I said, I used to drop them and they were dropping like 15,000, 5,000, 10,000 in 2 days. And then now I can barely get 100 likes on the firearms. I don't know if YouTube is punishing me because I got a strike or something, but it's kind of whatever. So I got you, just a gamer. And by the way, I'm a gamer myself. I'm on the PS5. You guys can see some of my videos. I'm always playing Resurgence when I'm not in medical school, and on my downtime, I'm on Call of Duty Resurgence squads. I play that a lot. So if you guys ever wanna jump on, my character name is THA Black Mamba, the Black Mamba, THA BLACKMAMBA. So if you're on there, check it out, guys. Kirsten says, can you make a video about why you prefer vertical or horizontal foregrips for different guns? I could do that. I could do that. I have both on multiple firearms, so I could do that. I'm gonna put that in my notes and talk about foregrips on firearms. I could do something like that, definitely. Just Gamer says, I'm actually a big YouTuber. I got 36,000 subscribers on my other account. I'm gonna shout you up. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. It's always good when the YouTube family try to, go and promote each other. Especially when you have a channel that that's trying to educate. You don't see a lot of channels like this that go out there trying to educate, and I'm not out there with no switches. And the funny thing is, if I did put a switch on my gun and then just start acting crazy, I'd be getting a million views. It's so crazy. But if you're here and you're trying to educate people about things that actually really matter, you can barely get 1,000 views, man. And then it's just, this world is so backwards to me. I just don't get it. But it is what it is, guys. All right, so I'm gonna be honest with you guys. So again, Just Gamer, I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for looking out for the kid. So I really appreciate that. And obviously, a lot of gamers are into firearms too. What I've noticed is a lot of gamers have not really shot a lot of firearms because I have friends that are gamers, and when I take them to shooting, it's their first. So I don't know if you've ever fired a firearm before, but definitely you can go check out some of the previous episodes. Those are some great talking points that if you are thinking about getting to firearms, those are some good points to actually watch. If you go through those videos, I make those points. I start interaction, with the channel first, where I'm talking with my subscribers and the viewers, but then I get into the point like I'm going to do here. So guys, give me just a moment. I'm getting a little parched. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to come back and I'm going to start with today's point on why the one that you have, the gun that you have. I didn't want to put the word gun in there, but the gun that you have is enough. I really want to talk about that because a lot of people feels like, they have a firearm, they feel like they have to buy another one and another one and another one. And I know it's a little contrary because I have so many, and yet still I'm making a video on the one that you have is enough. I'm a collector. That's my excuse. So, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. So I'm gonna say that right now. But there's a commercial break coming up in a little bit. I'm gonna go and get something to drink, and when I come back, guys, I'm gonna get into today's points. All right. It says I'm always interested in learning. Absolutely. Kirsten, so am I, man. I'm always trying to learn too. I'm never too old to learn. So I'm always trying to learn. You should never limit yourself ever, 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 ever. Never limit yourself. You know what I mean? All right, guys, give me just a moment. Let me go grab I'm gonna grab something to drink, and then I'll come right back. All right, I'll be right back, fam. Welcome back, fam. So this is my boy right here. This is my Belgian Malinois. He's about hey, don't touch it. He's about 5 months old, and he's a little menace, man. So sit, sit, stay, don't move. So he's a little menace. Stop. You know, he's 5 months old. He's still he's still growing. So, but he's you. Don't even bother. You know, don't. You know, he's 5 months old. He's still growing. His name is Odin. You know, and he's a little menace, man. So this is the little menace. Somebody asked me earlier if you know, they come in here. You can come in here. You know, he's already know how to. He's already don't like when people walk next to me already. So you know, he gets really aggressive. Okay, stop. And he's only 5 months old, and I'm 5'8". All right, he's only 5 months old. That's how big he is. See that? His dad, when I got him, all right, now his dad is literally this tall. All right, and then his mom is about here, and he's like in between, and he's only 5 months old. So that's Odin, fam. So hey, say hi. Hey, yeah, that's Odin. All right, I'm gonna put him back outside because he won't let me make this video. Come on, let's go. Oh, go, stay. All right, sorry about that, fam. I got my water. You know, ready to get into today's. I do, Omer. Track. Hi, how you doing? Welcome, Carlos Pablo. What's up? Welcome. Um, All right, guys. So while you guys are getting busy, I'm gonna get into today's point, man. Again, thank you guys for joining. Today's topic today, we're gonna talk about the one that you have is good enough. All right. Do you have a M83 or P90? No, I do not have an M83 or P90. Trust me, I want to have it all. You know, all right, guys. So before I start making a point, just a quick public announcement. Thank you guys for joining the live. Today's Monday. I know you guys are some of you guys are coming home from work. You guys are at home. Some of you guys are trying to get away from the wife and get some personal time. Some of you guys are whatever the case might be, you know, scrolling through YouTube videos, just coming across a bunch of foolishness people post while they're doing live. I don't like to do that. If I'm coming on live, I want to make sure somebody learns something, whether it's, you know, watching some kind of presidential debate or something going on in Congress or some message the president has for us, or making a video like this or posting something that I'm in love with, either motorcycle, bikes, cars, trucks, you know, guns, dogs, hunting, you know, golf. That's my thing, and that's what my channel is about. Just regular, everyday shit guys like. You know what I mean? I'm a guy's guy, man. If you're my neighbor, we're cool as hell, man, because that's the kind of shit I do all the time. All right. So this is the kind of channel for you. You know, I need to go out more, but I'm in medical school right now, so I have to split my time. Like even right now, I'm talking to you guys. I have assignments I have to go finish up, but I wanted to keep going with the channel because I kind of dropped off a little bit. I had like 38,000 subscribers years ago, and when I was getting into law enforcement, you know, I literally dissolved the channel and didn't know that I could actually suspend the channel and then bring it back again. But I'm starting over and it's whatever. It's a lot of fun for me. I do this because I like to do it, and it's fun for me. So before I get started, guys, if you guys want to really support the channel, subscribe. That's the best way you can do it. Like the video, share the video, and if you really want to help out, fam, just go ahead, man. You can give a donation. Anything will be appreciated. I really thank you if you get anything useful out of this. That's my main aim. I'm not here to make money. I just want to get more material, cameras, more ammo, so I can do more outside videos, so I can do more reviews and bring the content to you guys. Well, with that said, guys, I'm gonna get started and we're gonna get on the point. All right, so let's go. All right, so the reason why I wanted to make this video today is I constantly search the internet and I watch a lot of YouTube channels, and I watch SHOT Show. I've never been to SHOT Show. I'd love to go to SHOT Show, but the channel is not that big. They don't invite your boy out to none of that stuff, man. Maybe when I get to maybe 50, 60,000, then, and I create a little, boop in the pond, maybe they'll send me an invite or something when I start reaching out to all you people. But the reason why I talk about this, I constantly see people on internet. Every year it's a new gun, every year it's a new rifle, every year it's 15,000 new rifle. You see a suppressor and then you see 5 more companies with 5 different suppressor. The OOS off spray, the this, that kind of suppressor. It's this 2011, and it's this 2311, and it's from this company, and that company, and this gun makes it shoot faster, and this gun makes it shoot flatter, and all of them shoot the same projectile. And some of them, they say, the Luago Alien, which is that 9mm that looks like an alien, I want one. If I was a millionaire, I'd have all of those guns. But to be honest with you, if I'm going to be honest with everybody and with myself, honestly, they all shoot the same bullet, man. You know what I mean? Some of them make you do a little better at shooting that gun. They make you shoot it faster, better. They're a little bit more silkier with the slide. But honestly, when it's all said and done, they shoot the same projectile. You know what I mean? When it goes bang, when you shit hit the fan, I don't think it matters. But I don't think it matters to the point where you're like, I should have got that 2011 instead of that Glock 19 with that Radian Ramjet, that old, a 30-round magazine on the Glock. I should have gotten that. You know what I mean? Listen, I've shot 2011, and yes, they are smooth and delicious. They're buttery smooth, and they shoot very nice. They make you feel like you're a world-class shooter. And I've also shot a Glock 19 with a Radian Ramjet, which carries, you have a 30-round, I've used a 30-round magazine in it. I've used 15-round mags, and that Radian Ramjet, it shoots pretty flat. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe not as flat and smooth and elegant as a 2011, from all these famous companies that make 2011s for $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Not buying one. Not unless this channel is this big. I mean, I'm way down here, but not unless this channel is that big. Unless someone sends one out to the channel, you'll never see me out here with no 2011, guys. I'm not buying no 2011 to come show off on nobody. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? Before I buy a 2011, right, for $5,000, $6,000, listen what I could do. I could buy a Glock 17. I could put a Radian Ramjet on that. I could get it stippled. I could get the slide cut for optics. I could buy 2,000 rounds. I could also go to Palmetto State Armory and buy a 14.5-inch saber. I could get a scope with that and another 500 rounds and go to the range and have mad fun before I buy a $5,000, $6,000 2011. Not doing it. I'm not doing it. If you let these people on the internet tell you what to do about go and buy this gun, I watch Colin Neor. I don't know if a lot of you guys know who that guy is. He's that, I think he's a lawyer. He once worked for the NRA. He has a pretty big channel. He always review every gun before they come out or right as they come out. because he's such a large channel, everybody sends their guns to him. So he gets everything for free. I can't imagine. His gun collection must be right up there with Demolition Ranch. Have you seen Demolition Ranch gun collection? That thing is sick. Because his channel is so big, all the companies, they as soon as they drop a new gun, they send it out to him. And he finds some way of reviewing it, shooting up this, doing that, shooting pumpkin, shooting water bottle, shooting a mile, playing silly games with it. And so you might think that every gun that comes out, you want one. All right, point in there. I have the Chris Vector right here, which is probably my favorite PCC. Well, between this and my CZ Scorpion. I've never really owned the MP5. I'm going to get the SP5. Let's see how that works out. Maybe if I get some donation, maybe if somebody puts some donation in there, I'll be able to get SP5. But I do want to get SP5. I can't even get the H&K MP5. I'm talking about SP5, which is like a knockoff, I guess. You know what I mean? If I can get one of those, I don't know. But between this one and this one, they're pretty sweet guns. If I have to grab one of them and get busy, I'm okay with either. I mean, I'd probably grab this one first, but this one is just as good. And I also have the CZ Scorpion, which is just as good. I've had that way before I've had these, and I've shot hundreds of rounds through my Scorpion. I love it. You put a red dot on it, angled foregrip, man, that thing's a top driver. Not to mention, the FRT triggers are out now. FRT triggers in a stride bog, Chris Vector, CZ Scorpion, AR-9 pistol. Come on. You can get real busy with that, guys. Real busy. So, you just need one gun. You just need one gun, and that gun is going to do the work. All right, so I broke down my points today in about 4 categories: practical value, financial perspective, psychological radical readiness, and I'll explain what all of that means, and historical perspective from that angle. All right. So the first point is in terms of practical value, and why the gun that you have is enough. Now, listen, if you have a high point, right, and you've shot that high point to the point where, okay, you think it's decent, yes, you should upgrade from a high point to something else. You can go Canic, the PSA, 9. You can go CZ, the CZ P09, P07, P10C series. You have the Smith & Wesson, the Glock, and they make pretty affordable firearms. All right. So yes, you can upgrade. But what I mean by this topic is that your gun is good enough is when you start seeing these videos of these men shooting these $3,000-$4,000 AR-15. They got the Surefire, they got the the Vortex, whatever, that's the scope is just as expensive as the rifle. They got the super expensive charging handle, and they got the Geisley trigger, and and the suppressor is another $600 plus the tax stamp. Guys, you don't need all that stuff. You don't need all that stuff. I don't see a point where in the future where you're going to need a gun that tactical to go do what you have to do. I don't see a point in the near future where the gun that you have is not adequate enough to go take care of what it is that you find yourself in. Yes, you might find yourself in a situation where you need a little bit more firepower, you need a little bit more pizzazz to that gun, but it's rare that we're ever going to find ourselves in any scenarios where you're going to need a better gun than the one that you currently have. And in terms of practical value, listen, proven reliability for the thing that you already have, all right? If your firearm has already been tested, broken in, and runs reliable, there's no real need to replace it with a new one. So if you have an AR-15, you have a shotgun, and you constantly are working it, you're using it, you know that it's gonna go boom every time. You know that, okay, I need to change a spring. Boom, you change that spring, and you know you run it again, and you know, man, this thing is, because you can feel it. You know, you can feel a difference when you upgrade a firearm and you go and you run that and you said, man, this is broken in. Would you choose a firearm that you just purchased yesterday over the one that you've been running, that you know? You know that even though the sights aren't, the sights when they line up, they still not gonna hit the target because you gotta kind of have to skew it a little to the left or the right to you to hit the, you know it. You know how that thing runs. You know that if there's a hiccup, all you got to do is and you know it runs again. You already know that firearm. So a lot of times we go out and we feel like we got to get these brand new thing when the one that we have is already broken in. When you get a firearm, if you notice when you get it, it's super hard and super tight. The springs are tight, brand new. The burrs that are rubbing against each other, they're still tight. But the more you shoot, the more it loosens up and gets smooth and it works out that way. That's why they tell you, hey, listen, you need to shoot about 500 rounds in your guns before you should safely carry it to use for concealed carry, because you got to get it worked in. So that's one of the points, man. Next thing, guys, all right, familiarity matters. Okay, so you already know how your gun handles, feels, and shoots. The experience often matters more than having the latest features. You know your firearm. You've been carrying it for years. You know its little nuances. You know how to talk to it. You know how to pet it. You know how to handle it. You know how it feels against your skin. You get a brand new gun, now you're putting it in there, and the grip is eating up your the side. Now you're uncomfortable. You can't even sit within the car. Now the barrel is half an inch longer. You know what I mean? Yo, you already have one that you know. You've been carrying it for the last 3 years. Maybe you want to do a little bit of upgrade to it. Like I said, I keep saying, add a radiant ramjet to it to maybe lower the recoil, maybe change out the grip, add some stippling, but that gun that you already have is enough. You don't have to get a brand new one. Don't follow us YouTubers and telling you that you need to get this gun that dropped yesterday and that gun that dropped tomorrow and this other gun that's going to drop next week. You don't need it, fam. You know what I mean? I'm being honest with you. If you see me, right? If you support the channel, you see me come with a new firearm, you ain't got to get it. You don't. You don't have to get what the other guy has. This is the problem in this country. We always see people and we always want what they have. Oh, I have the same issue. I have that demon in me where it's like, I want what that person has. Not in a jealous way. I don't have that in me. I do my own thing. I'm in my own lane. Anything I want, I go get it. I don't care what anybody else have. I stay in my lane, and when it's my turn, I work hard and I go get it. That's how I suggest you guys get stuff. But there's that thing what we guys like to, you see that little bike. Oh yeah, that bike is nice. I want to get that bike. Oh, that gun, that's a 2011. Oh man, I want to get that 2011. So we have that just because we're men. We like toys. We want to get toys. We want to get new ones. But the one that you already have, my friend, you're already familiar with it. You already know it. You don't need to go out and don't follow Colin Noir or all these other guys or being paid to review some of these firearms. The one that you have is more than enough, my friend. Practice with it, get to know it, and be proficient with it, and you'll be fine. All right, so the next point is, under practical value, is maintenance over replacement. A well-maintained firearm will last decades, sometimes even outlasting newer models. How many times you hear people say, man, I had this 1989 Ford pickup and that thing just needs a new battery. And then you see people coming with these brand new cars. Man, they have the latest. They got the touch screen. The screen talks the windshield talks to them. They sit in it. It massages their back and heat their butt while they're driving. And by next week, they're in the shop. You know what I mean? So I have a 2017 Expedition. Great truck. When I was going to buy that truck, I actually was going to get Tahoe, because I really wanted a Tahoe. I really did. I was like, I'm getting a Tahoe. And I review and I looked it up for months leading up to me buying my Expedition. And it so happened that one of my co-worker, when I was a captain at a prison, he had a problem with his Silverado. He kept taking it back and, get it. Something was wrong, took it back like 3 times. And I said, man, all of a sudden I'm starting to look for a Chevy. You're having problem with your car. All right. My neighbor across the street has a Tahoe. And we always talking. I said, man, let me see inside. Oh, it looks so nice. He said, you want to try it? Driving around back. I said, yeah. I told him I want to get a Tahoe. And I was like, yeah, I'm ready to get it. Saw him one day when I was walking my dog, my other dog, not this one, years ago. And I said, hey, where's the truck? He says, oh, it's in the shop. See him again weeks after. He got it. I said, you got it back? He said, yeah, I got it back, but it's in the shop again. It's always in the shop. And after I saw that sometimes the signs are there. And I saw 2 people that I was close with, and they're always having problems with the Chevy. I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. The Tahoe on the inside is way more luxurious. It feels more pristine. But when I got into that Expedition, I loved it. It wasn't as pristine, but it was decent. And I've never had any problem since then. My neighbors, my friend, they've taken back that Tahoe back and forth. And mine, I think I did a water pump one time. More than that, I just do my oil change, rotate my tires, filters, the basics. So maintenance over replacement sometime is way better. The one you have, you maintain it, keep it clean, keep it oiled, change out the springs every now and then. Boom, you're good to go. All right? So the next set of points I want to make, guys, from a financial perspective. All right? You watch people like Colin Noor, and I just say Colin Noor. I don't have anything against Colin Noor. All right? And somebody said, what? Answer what question? Daz. Answer what question? What's the question? I'm pretty sure I said while I'm making my points, I'm not answering any question. I'm pretty sure I said that. You didn't get that part? I don't know if you're talking to me, my brother, but you know what, my brother, I'm Jamaican. Even though I'm making this video, my brother, I'm Jamaican, man. I don't play with people. Don't let the smiling fool you, my guy. You know what I mean? I'm not that type of guy. I don't do internet beefs. And I don't let people disrespect me, man. I worked in a prison for years. And I've had serial killers that don't talk, that can't talk to me like that. I'm on YouTube, man, but I'm not YouTube. All right? Yeah, if you saw me in real life, you wouldn't even play with me. All right, but let's move on. It's one love still. All right, so from a financial perspective, all right. So the point I want to make from a financial perspective is save money. All right, firearms are an investment, but chasing every new release can drain your wallet without providing a huge advantage. That's self-explanatory. Like, you don't want to have to go out and buy a new firearm every month. It makes no sense, man. Absolutely makes no sense. And listen, I have a lot of firearms, and I don't go out. And this is over the years that I've purchased these. And yes, I do have a lot, and a lot more. Lot of them you don't see behind there, and a lot more behind there, and on the other side of there, and in safes, and you haven't even seen the handgun part either, right? So I got a lot, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you don't necessarily need the most every new firearm to come in. You're gonna drive yourself broke. For me, I didn't just get up and buy every firearm you see here. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I'm not a party guy, because I have a little bit of a temper. You know what I mean? So I don't ever want to lose control. You know what I mean? I don't ever want to lose control. I'm not the type of guy, if I lose control, you want to be around. I have a little bit of jiu-jitsu training. I've done kickboxing before. I've been in law enforcement. I'm not the kind of guy like that you want to lose control around. You know what I mean? Or I've lose control around you. I don't. So I stay away from drugs. I ran track all my life. I ran track for for Jamaica. I ran track in college. I ran track since I was a kid. I play a lot of soccer. That's where I vent at. I go to the gym. You can see I have videos here. I'm bench pressing 330, 315 like it's water. I'm 210, and I'm not no fat guy. You know what I mean? I'm 5'8", 210, and I'm built. That's my outlet is the physicality. That's how I get down. I bench press 305 twice a week, every week. You know what I mean? So I'm doing that 8 times a month. And I'm not a spring chicken. I'm an old cat. You know what I mean? So the financial perspective is you can't keep getting up buying new guns, right? You want to firearms are an investment. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna tell you where I saw that investment and came to fruition. When we were going through COVID, when everybody was buying everything, even a gun like this, a Mosin Nagant M44 that shoots the 54R, these were selling for $500-$600, and these are like back in the days you could get one of these for $200. They were selling for $600, $700, $1,000. Or old 1944 World War II firearm, they were selling for $1,000. That's how I know firearms keep their value. You can use them in trade later on if shit happens. You can trade bullets for food or whatever the case might be in a WROL type of situation. You know what I mean? So, but honestly, you don't want to just get up and if you have a kid, if you have a family, if you have your bills to pay, you can't be buying this like a new firearm every month. You just can't. So from a financial perspective, it's not worth it, man. Sometimes whatever you have is good enough. Don't follow us on YouTube trying to buy every gun you see people advertise. Save it, fam. You know what I mean? Next point is spend on another financial strain that you can go through is you spend on training and ammo instead of extra money extra money is better spent on ammunition for practice, classes, and accessories than actually making you a better shooter. And that's one point. So instead of going out and buying a new firearm, spend that money on getting training to handle the firearm that you have, right? So you want to, if the more proficient you are, the more precise you are with your shooting, the more ammo you are, you can use to get to that precision shooting, the better shooter you are. So when you do need that skill, you have it. That's where you should spend your money. Not on buying every new gun, but then a situation comes up and you don't know what to do. You're fumbling around. You don't know. Because when adrenaline kicks in, and trust me, I've been in situations where when adrenaline is running and there's a guy on top of you literally trying to kill you because you and him are locked in a square room and you have to wait for your co-workers to come, you're gonna have to think through that adrenaline, that scenario. You can't get kitty then. You gotta fight and you gotta lock in and you're training. Then you say, okay, I remember this. The training says if there's somebody on me, I gotta put my hand up. I gotta do what it takes. Until my help comes. So that's where the training comes in. So spend money on training, taking courses to make you a better shooter, learn some safety, learn how to shoot better, and spending money on multiple firearms, buy more ammo and train more at the range. Go to some tactical ranges and pay for the training, make you a better shooter. All right. Next set of points I want to make is from like a psychological, practical readiness standpoint. All right. So the first point is confidence over cosmetics. You want to buy all these guns that look super nice and then just because it looks good don't mean it's going to make you a better shooter. What's going to make you a better shooter is you spending time with that. So new paint, new optics, or upgrades don't replace skills, right? Confidence in your current setup is more valuable. The gun that you have and you train with, you already have the light on it. You already know how to look through that red dot, because looking through a red dot is a science. It's not just something that you get up and know how to do. You have to practice it. And then you'll know where to find the dot all the time, to the point where you don't even need to look around in the thing for the dot. When you just get it, you're going to have to look around and find the dot. But if you practice with it, you'll know how to shoot. You can even put a tape on the glass and still find the red dot, at what you're shooting at. That's practice. You didn't know that? Yeah, you can put a tape on your red dot and still find the red dot and shoot at your target. even if the lenses cover up. That's a fact. You know what I mean? You guys won't understand because you don't have any training, but I do. You know what I mean? So you have to make sure you put time in, you know what I mean, with the one you have, the firearm you have, gain confidence with handling it instead of just going buying a brand new firearm, don't know what to do it, you haven't put more than 50 rounds to it at the range, and and then you want to take it and conceal carry. Nah, don't work like that, guys. All right, next point is the tool versus the shooter. The shooter's skills, not the gun's latest features, determine effectiveness. So you as the shooter knowing how to do what you do is gonna make you a more efficient and better shooter to defend yourself and your family. Not getting every brand new gun you see everything everybody advertises. Plain and simple. That's just how it is. All right. Less time adjusting. So the next point is less time adjusting. Okay. And sticking with what you know means you're not constantly retraining on new controls and ergonomics. So every new gun they come out with has a new, gimmick, a new this, the 2 barrel pistol or the double barrel AR and the 2011s that you have to do this and this and that, the comps and and just every new feature that come out with every new, because they're still trying to reinvent the wheel. All right, so not you have a 1911, you have a Glock 19, you don't necessarily need a 2011, and now you have to deal with this, the trigger safety, you have to deal with the thumb safety, you have to deal with a different kind of undercut, you have to deal with a 2 pound trigger as opposed to a 6 pound trigger on your Glock or whatever the case might be. Sometimes it's best to stick with what you know. That's just that. All right. So you're spending lesser time adjusting to a new firearm as opposed to spending more time training with the one, that you already have. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna go into another set of points and then I'll take some questions. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. So now, from an historical perspective, all right. So we went from a practical view to a financial perspective, psychological perspective. Now we're going to go to an historic perspective, all right? Tried and true designs, right? Many firearm platforms have been around for decades. 1911s, revolvers, pump action are still just as effective today, which is true. A lot of your grandfather still carry a 1911 because your great grandfather because he had one in World War II. Your father grew up watching him carry a 1911. He carries a 1911. If that's what they've practiced on and practiced with and they're proficient with, that's what they should carry. If that's what you've learned on and that's what you're comfortable with and you're pretty accurate with it, then carry the 1911, the one that you're used to. And if that was your first gun that you had, then train with it, be more proficient with it, buy more ammo, and be a better shooter. No, I don't smoke, never smoke. All right, so you see them come out with these new semi-automatic shotguns. The Benelli is a class of its own. I mean, I definitely want a Benelli inertia driven shotgun, but the good old pump action is going to do it. The good old 1911 is going to do it. A good revolver, more times than not, it's going to shoot. Might not come with 15 rounds, but it's reliable. You keep the shells in when you're done, so you can dispose of it later. Every time you squeeze, it's going to go bang until them 6 or 9 rounds are done. That's just what it is. All right. So the next point is not a phone upgrade. Okay. So bear with me now. All right. Guns don't become obsolete like technology. All right. Good firearm from 20 years ago can still defend your life. So if you have a 1911 that was given to you as an heirloom and it works and you take it to the range and you've put tons of rounds to it and you've changed out a spring or whatever, a bushing or whatever the case might be, that's good enough, guys. You ain't got to get a 2011. Don't let these YouTubers tell you about you need a 2011 and you need this, a 3011 and a 2511, and you need a Glock 19 Gen 5, tactical, and you need that. Nah. The one that you have, those old school technology, they're just as fine today as they was 20, 30 years ago. They can do the job. Don't watch the trend and think that you need to get every new, Springfield Prodigy or whoever makes the best 2011 or anything like that. All right. Just whatever you have is good enough. And the final point I want to make today, guys, is collect versus necessity. There's nothing wrong with collecting. That's why I'm saying I'm not being a hypocrite. I have a lot of firearms here, and yet I'm telling you the one you have is enough. But collect versus necessities, two different things. There's nothing wrong with collecting, but needing the latest and greatest is different from having a solid, dependable tool, guys. I collect. All right. I'm not doing it because I want another gun and another. I do it because I love. We already spoke about form factor. I love how guns are designed. I love how you can have one tool but looks 15 different way that fires the same. I just love. It's an art piece for me. You know what I mean? I have an AR-15, but then I have the Keltec RDB. Two different things. It fires the same projectile, but in a different form factor. So I'm okay with that. So if you want to be a collector and just want to collect guns, then that's fine. And in the process, if it so happened that somebody's breaking into your house, you can use one of those collected weapons and defend your own stead. Or if you feel like you want to take one of those collected weapons, you can use it as everyday carry, home defense, hunting. You know what I mean? So you don't have to get it because, everybody else have it. You can get it because you want it because you're a collector, but you don't have to get everything else everybody has. Don't follow this YouTube channel, guys. And that's my points for today, guys. Whatever you have, fam, is more than enough. You ain't got to go get what I got. You ain't got to get what Colin Noor got. You ain't got to get what Hickok 45 got. You don't have to get what Iraq Veteran 8888 got. You ain't got to get what, FPS Russia. Anybody remember FPS Russia back in the days? Man, I used to watch that guy's YouTube channel all the time. You know what I mean? So, yeah, guys, that's my points, man. So, sorry if I went on there for a long time. Hopefully you guys got something out of the video. I really appreciate everyone coming through. My Mr. Hudson 87 said I just purchased a 50 Beowulf rifle. Congratulations, Mr. Hudson, but I can't afford a 50 Beowulf right now, man. That round is, how much is that round, Mr. Hudson? How much per round? There's never enough guns. And Mr. Hudson, you are absolutely right. There is never enough guns to collect. That's how I feel. I want to have them all. I want to have Demolitions Ranch, his safe and all those guns. That's how I want it. You know what I mean? But that's just because I'm a collector. You know what I mean? Paul Preston says, hell yes, Russian was nuts. I don't think I understand that comment. My bad. Earlier, Blue Aro said, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Definitely, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, man. Someone gone too soon. Mustafa said, are you too big or are the weapons too small? I don't know what to tell you. It's just how far, you see how my hands are kind of big and then it gets small as it goes away. So just to give you a perspective, let me give you a perspective. All right, this is my hand. All right. So what do you think? You see how far back it is? So that's the perspective you're getting. I'm 210, and everything up there is real. So hopefully that's a better perspective you get. It's just how the camera takes and everything, I guess. So I don't think I'm too big or small. The guns are the right size. Paula Preston says, FPS Russian. No, the channel used to be called FPS Russia. It used to be a YouTube channel, a gun channel, that where the videos were taken by Iraqi Veteran 8888. And this guy was a fake Russian, but he used to do a lot of reviews on firearms. And he was probably the best YouTuber. Before YouTubers were super famous, it was pretty much him and Hickok 45 and then a couple other people. But, FPS Russia was the man back in the day, man. I used to watch all his videos, all of them. Facts Around the World says, nice guns. Thank you, Facts. I appreciate you guys. And guys, if you guys want to support the channel, man, you know how you guys can support the channel. Like, subscribe, share the video. If you guys want to, always give a donation, man. Like that's greatly appreciated. That's like my the best way you can support a channel because I want to make more videos, man. But you gotta buy ammo, man. You gotta buy ammo. It's just what it is. Sam Orr says, "Bless you all." No, bless you, Sam. Thank you. Anderson Costa. Don't know what that is. Is that English? What language is that? Steve Perez says, "What's my favorite gun?" Steve, my favorite gun, I'd have to say, is my SOCOM 16 CQB, and that's a 308 battle rifle from Springfield Armory. So you can check that out. It's called yeah, so it's called a SOCOM 16 CQB from Springfield Armory. It shoots a 308. That's my favorite. That's my the 22, 308, 9 millimeter. Those are my favorite caliber. For to go to war, probably 308. That's I love 308. It's the perfect mix of medium to short range. I'm talking from 100 yards to 600 yards. 308. I think 308 is more than enough, man. So Albert says you're a collector. Um, that's legal and you're right to bear arms. So many casualties, and I understand that war is practiced at peacetime. Peace to you and to all the chats. That is true, man. And that's why I promote the two-way movement, man, because I have the right to collect and I just want to. That's it. If other people don't want to, then you don't have to. And that's it. That's why it is what it is, you know. What country are you in? I hear an accent and I see a lot of pew pews. So Scarface, I'm Jamaican originally, so I do have an accent, but I live here in the United States. I love the United States. I love this country. If I have to go to war for it, I absolutely will. Yes, 1,000%. I'm Jamaican. I love Jamaica, but I live here in the United. I've lived there now for I don't know, like 20 years, 20 plus years. I've been a citizen for a long time, man. So yeah. Um, uh, so Facts Around the Road says, how much is AR-15 in 2025? Just depends. You have different places. You have lower end manufacturers, and then you have the upper tier echelon of it. Then you have in between, man. So you can get from, I say, a decent firearm in from about $400 to $500 the least, and then sky's the limit, man. Whatever your budget is, you can find it. It's here in the United States. A lot of manufacturers here, and the tech and firearms technology is better than it was years ago. So, not saying any AR-15 you pick up is going to be great, but it's gonna be fairly decent for what you want it to do. Just defending your home, going plinking, defending your homestead, taking down big game in North America. Yeah, firearm AR-15s are enough. AR-15s, they designed them to now they can take 308, the AR-10s, they can take shotgun shells. They can take 9 millimeter. It just depends on what you want, man. There's a lot of versions of AR-15. There's a big empty space in the middle of the rack, bro. That shit bothers me. What, right here? All right, tell me if this helps. Does that help? Right here? All right, I tell you what, I might put a pistol right in here to cover up that space. Are you OCD? Yeah. So, my bad. I'm sorry. Max says there's a big ass space right here that bothers him. Right here, this space right here. My bad, Mac. I'm sorry. Scarface, you must not be in California looking at those pistol grips. Possibly unless those are the crack. No, I'm not in California. I would never move to California. I'm in Florida, my friend. I hate California. I love California. It's beautiful. I just hate their gun laws and the way how it's governed. But I love California. You know what I mean? James Galetta says, defend your homestead is something you only have to do in America. No, defend your homestead. Your homestead meaning your property. A lot of people in the United States have a lot of land. You go to Wyoming, there's people with acres and acres. Some parts of Florida, and if you have people, Texas, you have people encroach on their property, the cartel, whoever, hogs, and it's not just defended from humans. Yeah, defend your homestead from wild hogs. Wild hogs are a problem in Florida and Texas. So it's not just, yeah, it's homestead. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. Scarface says the Second Amendment protects ourselves is important. For example, if the Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank had the right to bear arms, people are less likely to bully you like Israel have been doing. I don't really know what goes on between Israel and Palestine, but that is absolutely correct, man. If people have a chance to defend themselves, it is less likely that they're going to be bullied. So that is a very good point, and that is the reason why here in the United States people fight for the 2A movement so much. Is you want the right to defend yourself. You don't want to be a victim. So, and that's why I promote the channel too. I feel like everybody, we have this right. People in other countries don't have the right to defend themselves. And maybe if we lose that right, we might be, as a country, the victim. So I do fight to keep that right to own firearms so we can defend ourselves from threats local and abroad, if the case may arise, guys. Um, did I say AR-15s can shotgun shells? Yes, there are AR-15s that are they look like I'm sorry, I shouldn't say AR-15s. They're AR-15-esque type gun that shoot shotgun rounds. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. I have a Saiga AK from AAA import in Florida. Bob Street. I have a Saiga AK. This one right here is a Saiga from the Ishmash. This one came in a sporter configuration. I still have another one in the original box in the safe. So I have two of these, but I converted this one, and then I put on the stock and the grip and the foregrip. But this is a Saiga AK that's made in the Ishmash factory. So absolutely. Bob Sheet says EAA imports in Florida. I'm further down south, so Start Again says, do you live in a cowboy town? No, I don't. I live in a rural area. It's just, no, I don't. I just have a lot of guns. Scarface says, as it looks like World War III is marching forward more and more globally. When it goes down, what are your go-to weapons to survival? And how well stocked up are you with emergency supplies? As a gun owner, you're never supplied enough. I have enough ammo for most of these guns. Some of them I've ran through, but I have enough AK-74 ammo. I have enough 9mm, 40, 45, 5.56, 223s, 308. I have ton load of 22s. So I would say, if I'm running with a group of people, I'm pretty stacked when it comes to ammo. In terms of what will I grab, like I said earlier in the live, my 308. Give me 1 second, guys. My phone is dying. Let me juice it up a little bit. My apologies. I'm using my phone, guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, any contribution, it's greatly appreciated, man. Trying to get better camera to use so I can be on here with you guys. Give me a second. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, so for me, my go-to rifle would probably be my SOCOM 16 CQB. I love that. I love that rifle because I love 308. That's one of my favorite rounds. Sidearm. I have a Canik SFX Rival. I think it's pretty sweet. Comes with two 15-round mags. I probably get two more. It's a pretty accurate firearm. Comes with sight ready, so you can put a sight on it. It's 5.5 inch barrel, so it's pretty decent. Fiber optic front sight. So I'd probably grab that as my sidearm because it shoots pretty nice. And I will also probably grab my Chris Vector or my CZ Scorpion as a PCC, as like a backup 9mm to my handgun. and then my 308 SOCOM 16. That would be my go-to. And then if I'm running with a crew, then they can choose whatever, and then give them the crash course in firearms handling. Um, Aaron says unlimited ammo can buy yes. I'm sorry, buy yes, but doesn't mean they won't track how much you have. I don't care about that, Aaron. I don't care if they track me or not. It's not illegal to have ammo in the United States, at least here in Florida. So it doesn't matter. And I go to the range all the time, so that's for. But I don't think they track you like that, my friend. The situation says Erica Kirk, fake crying is so single mother behavior. The situation, why you gotta go there, man? It doesn't matter if she's fake crying or not. She just lost her husband 11 days ago. Let that woman grieve however she wants to grieve. If she wants to fake cry or cry for real, let her be, man. Let that lady have her time. You know what I mean? Let her grieve however she wants to grieve. Can you imagine how much she's been crying? Can you imagine if your wife lost you? Are you going to tell? How can anybody tell if she's fake crying or not? Do you know how somebody cries? And if their crying is fake, do you know what their real crying looks like? Have you ever seen her cry? Maybe what's her fake crying look like? It's her normal crying. And that's just how she's built. We all don't cry the same. You know what I mean? I rarely cry. You know what I mean? But I have a very stoic face, and you might see some eye water come down, but that's it. Some people bawl when they crying. Some people just look fake when they're crying, like they're not crying. So, you got to put yourself in that lady's situation, man. She lost her husband, and we're not gonna come on here and bash her, man. So don't do that. We don't do that over here, my friend. We don't bash people, especially when they just lost their husband 11 days ago, not even 2 weeks ago. So try to keep it. You know what I mean? Try to keep it, on the low with that. Dad says, do you sleep with a gun under your pillow? No. I sleep with them by my bed. Under my pillow is foolishness. I ain't gonna do that. That don't make no sense. I don't know what kind of dream I'm gonna have, and next thing you know, nah, I don't do that. It's by the bed. That's enough, my friend. Um, Scarface says you can go into North Carolina with cash and buy as much as you want. If you use a credit card, they can. Yo, Scarface, why are you so hung up with the ammo? I don't care, man. I'll buy 10,000 rounds. I don't care if they track me. It's okay. I'm not doing anything illegal. I go to the range a lot and I plank and I store up. That's it. Um, Scarface says, you ever watch Candace Owens on the tube? Is many theories emerging about Charlie's incident. Yeah, I haven't been digging deeply into that, but I've heard that there's some theories about it. I haven't really. She says she got some receipts, but I kind of I don't really follow a lot of these theories. When the main thing comes out, we all will know. Now it's skepticism now. So it's just skepticism for now. So I don't really follow that much. You know what I mean? I said it before. My favorite gun is anything 22, and I have a lot of them. It's hard for me to say my favorite gun, but my SOCOM 16 is probably one up there. CZ and my Chris Vector is right there too. My CZ Scorpion and multiple firearm handguns. So I have quite a few. Scarface is in Florida. Some parts the iguanas are out of that is true. Iguanas are invasive species here in Florida. They are. Um, oh, okay. All right. My bad, Scarface. I just saw your comment. Just making reply to other comments about ammo and them tracking the ammo. Okay, I got you. My bad. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking me. Uh, Thoughts on the Combat Master. I don't know if that question. Do you like modern or older firearms from Aaron? I like both. I like a mixture of the Polish Tonto is an older firearm. Mosin Nagant M44, that's an older firearm, and I have the M44 M9130. I have a Car 98. So I like both. Like I said, I'm a collector. I love them all. And there's a lot of World War II guns that I still want. I want the Nambu. I want a 1911 from World War II. I like them all, man. As a collector, I love everything. I love the form and finish of both of them. You know, uh, Aaron says he loves my M1 Garand and the Springfield 1903. I definitely want to get an M1 Garand, definitely. Obviously, you know, the SOCOM 16 and M1A, they're all, you know, grandbabies to the M1 Garand. So definitely I'd love to have like a M1 Garand. Facts. Thoughts. Dad says thoughts on the Muslim and illegal refugees in UK and Ireland. I really don't have a thought on it, man. To be honest with you, um, I haven't really looked much into it. But here in the United States, we have where I think it's Minnesota or one of those places where a lot of Somalians are taking over local government there. Um, I don't know how I feel about that yet, man. And so I'm not gonna comment on that yet. I don't know how I feel about that. To be honest with you, I haven't really thought about it. You know, so it is what it is. SL says, is the Chris Vector reliable? All right, so for me, my experience with it, okay, when I just got the Chris Vector, I wouldn't say it was reliable. I was a little disappointed. And in part why I said that, I was shooting the like some steel case ammo. And I don't know if that was the reason, but I shot steel case ammo through my Chris Vector and that worked. So for a while there, I was like, yo, maybe what people are saying about the Chris Vector is true. Because I saw a lot of people bashing it. And then I said, all right, you know what? I never actually broke it down and clean it and, you know, give it a chance. So I went with brass and my first 300 rounds through the brass. That's why I'm saying earlier on, the breaking down process and the getting to know your weapon process is a thing. You guys have to use the timeout when you get a new firearm to break it in because a lot of those tolerances are really tight when you just get them. And if you don't take the time out to break them in, then they're just going to give you problems. So at first I was having a little bit of problem with it. And then as I started shooting more and more, then I found out after I shot the first 300-400 rounds, I wasn't having a lot of problems with the with ejection or whatever follow up I was having, and it wasn't a lot either, just one or two, but it bothered me at the time. And then once I put the angled foregrip on it, because the people are saying when you hold it without angling the foregrip, you would kind of mess up or touch some of the controls, and then you would mess up the way I would fire it or stop it or prevent it or hinder it. And so when I put the angled foregrip on it, it was over. I never had any more problems with it. So I want to believe that it was the brass case ammo, it was the steel case ammo, along with how I was holding the firearm too. Ever since I put angled, it problem solved, man. Everybody that shot it since, I've never had any more problem. I can't wait to be honest with you. I can't wait to suppress this. I want to have a dedicated suppressor for it and put the FRT trigger in it and just see how crazy this can go. I'm gonna go watch some videos and see what it looks like when you put an FRT trigger inside a Chris Vector or a Scorpion and see how fast those go. Scarface, no, I guess Scarface is talking to some other people. AZ, okay, Albert, you're a good man. I notice your cross. It represents high, how wide, and how deep my love is. Absolutely, my friend. Yes, I am a Christian. You know what I mean? I pride myself in being a Christian. I'm a lover of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I always pray to the Holy Spirit, ask Him for discernment and guidance, in my life. I pray for discernment and guidance for my president, for the people who run our country. Everything that I do, I include the Holy Spirit, and I had our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to watch over me and my family. So yes, that's what it represents for me. I know in the Bible it says, "Create no image of anything in heaven, on earth." But this is a representative. There's a lot of things that we create on earth that are representative, that we use of what's above and below, that we use all day. So if I'm gonna break that rule, and I'm gonna get chastised for it, I'm at least gonna get chastised for wearing my faith on my chest. And that's one thing I'll never deny in front of God or the world. All right. So that's what it is, Um, what else? Scarface says, you're wearing an idol, my friend. It says not to do that in the Bible. It absolutely does say that. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. and I'm not a Christian, and I'm not judging. I'm just messing. And it is what it is, you know. Every day, let me say this, Scarface. You know, I am a work in progress. Every day I wake up short of the glory, you know, and I know I fall short every day. I'm not perfect, you know, and I try to step a little bit closer in that direction, you know, but I know I'm not perfect, you know. So, yes, it is a graven image, you know, and I do understand that, but at the same time, it represents my faith. It really does, you know. And I think the Holy Spirit sees that, and He knows I'm not wearing it as a, you know, as a false, as an idol. I'm not. I don't praise it. I don't pray to this. It's just a representation of what's in my heart, just on the outside. You know, what spiritually, what I command is the love of, you know, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, and it's right here. That I wear every day on the inside. You know what I mean? You know, God is good. God is great. All right. Bradford Bruce says, I like your guns too. I love, you know, thank you, appreciate it. You know, how's my martial arts skills? They're okay. I haven't done any jiu-jitsu in a long time. You know, I still have memories from my kickboxing days. You know, listen, I can put a kick on your leg and you don't come back up for days. You know, and my shin, they're conditioned. They're like my shins are like two pieces of iron attached to my kneecap and my ankle. You know, so they're good. I'm not Bruce Lee, but you know, they're decent. You know. Um, Bradford Bruce says, would you give me one of your guns?" Oh man, let me tell you something, dog. I'm attached to every single one of them, man. I love them all. I love them all. You know what I mean? I wouldn't give away any of them. I love them all, guys. Anyway, guys. So, guys, I think I'm gonna end the live there for today. I gotta get back to studying and do some work. But with that said, fam, I want to thank you guys for sharing your time with me. Thank you guys for watching the video. If any of you subscribed, I appreciate you. If you guys want to really help out the channel, subscribe, man. Like the video. And if not only that, if you guys really want to really help out the channel, give a donation. That'd be greatly appreciated, man. I don't have any Patreon or anything like that. I'm not in the heart of begging, but this helps out the channel a little bit. You can buy more. I can buy more ammunition. You know, buy more equipment to do better videos. I have a light now. You know, obviously I'm just using my phone. So if I do get a call, you know, I can't take the call or I can't look at my messages while I'm doing my video, but I'd love to have a nice little camera to do these videos, more lighting, stuff like that. So we going to a good cause, you know. And just remember that you guys were here on the ground floor, you know, when I was a little baby channel with like what 15,000 subscribers. And then when you guys see me grow, I'm like, yo, I remember when, you know, we used to chat on those episodes of 2A Gun Talk, man. Now look at him. He's a big YouTuber now. You know what I mean? So yeah. And with that said, guys, man, I appreciate every one of you guys, man. Thank you guys for joining with me today. With that said, I am gonna bid you guys adieu. Stay tuned for episode 10. Don't know what we're gonna talk about yet, but I'm gonna make sure I do my research just like I did today. If you guys get anything out of it, guys, like, subscribe, and share, man. I appreciate you guys. With that, Mr. Black Mamba 305, signing out, man. Peace. Love you guys. Thank you. What am I gonna do next episode? Next episode. That was a good one. I need to get some studying done. All right. for school. School time. I get some studying done. Gotta get some studying done, boy. Gotta get some studying done. Oh shit.